Calaroga Shark Media.
Jimmy Fallon said, I can't wait for March Madness. I can't wait to see who wins and how it's connected to a conspiracy about Taylor Swift. Uh-oh, watch out, Jimmy. Hi, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. We are back to normal now. Thank you so much for the notes. I got a lot of notes on the side. In case you missed it, my mother passed away last week. Thank you. On late night, Jimmy Kimmel started talking about my favorite topic, KateGate. What's going on with Kate Middleton? As you probably know, I'm the writer on the podcast Palace Intrigue, and boy, the numbers are just off the chain about KateGate. Jimmy Kimmel said, shows you how different it is in the UK. Kate goes missing for a few weeks. The whole country goes berserk. Meanwhile, we haven't seen Melania since 2021. John OIliver on his show said a certain someone's Adobe free trial expired in a pretty public manner. Vanity Fair is wondering if John OIliver is teasing a deep dive into the Kate Middleton controversy. OIliver was on What Would Happens Live. Andy Cohen asked, what's going on with Kate Middleton? OIliver said, I was out. I thought, let's just ignore this. We've moved on until the Photoshop thing. It feels like you're almost handling it badly in an impressive way at this point. OIliver joked, there's a non-zero chance she died 18 months ago. They might be Weekend at Bernieing this situation. Non-zero. I'm not saying it happened. I'm saying it's non-zero until proved otherwise, until you see her with a copy of the day's newspaper. Back in 2018, he talked about Meghan Markle and said, I don't think you have to have seen the pilot episode of The Crown to get a basic sense that she might be marrying into a family that could cause some emotional complications. I mean, they're an emotionally stunted group of fundamentally flawed people doing a very silly pseudo job. That's what she's marrying into, so I hope she likes it. It's going to be weird for her. He was very prescient. Meanwhile, the UK comedian's having some fun. Joe Lycett was one of the comedians at an event at Royal Albert Hall. Before his set, he jumped down in the audience to experience their view. He noted he had never been to the Royal Albert Hall. Trivia question. How many holes does it take to fill it? Think about that one. John Lennon has your answer. He got his assistants from security to get back on stage and joked, I feel like a royal, and then said, where is she? Which got a big laugh. He added, wrong place to say that, I imagine. Later in the night, comedian Paul Chowdhury joked about his confusion at people who edit their images on dating apps and later have to explain why they don't look the same in real life. And he joked, who edited your pictures, Kate Middleton? So much fun. Palace Intrigue, wherever you get your shows. There's a great new website called LateNighter.com. They cover late night. It's in the name. You could have figured that out without me telling you. Their report, Desi Leidick, has described Stephen Colbert wrote an email a long time ago. The email was to Rob Riggle, and it's been passed down from one generation of Daily Show correspondents to another. She said Rob passed it along to Al Madrigal. Al passed it along to Jordan Klepper, who passed it along to this generation. What's in the email? Desi said, they're really good pointers, like know the 3 things that you really want to get from the interview subject and don't leave until you get them. But she pointed out, it's not that easy. Colbert had the advantage of being brilliant at everything he does. Dimitri Martin will have a special all of a sudden next week. Yeah. Wait, that's not next week, John. That's slightly more than a week from now. April 2nd is when Dimitri Deconstructed comes out. There is a trailer. I'll just play a snippet because he said a couple naughty words. But notice on this trailer, the bass music, very reminiscent of one of Mitch Hedberg's albums that has the bass on it. I think it's Strategic Grill Locations that has the bass on it. And this really reminds me of that. Plus, Dimitri's delivery is already in the Hedbergian ballpark. So very interesting choice here and can't be accidental. Someone must have pointed that out, right? Yes, let's listen.
My friend asked me if I ever went swimming with dolphins. I said, yeah, definitely. I mean, what distance are we talking about from the dolphins? Pretty sure I swam with all of them the last time I was in the ocean.
Apparently, Attell has a special coming to Netflix as well. I don't think I've seen a proper announcement of that, but March 26th on Netflix, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Maybe they'll announce it at some point. Kyle Kinane is on the Last Laugh podcast. Some good advice from Kyle. He says, as a comedian, you get really locked into your surroundings. Everybody from New York has jokes about the subway. Everybody from LA has jokes about auditions. And you sometimes forget there's a whole country between those 2 cities. When I would visit my mother in the facility every day, she'd be like, did you see the person was pushed in front of the subway? And I'd be like, no, I live in New Jersey. I don't watch New York news. I don't read the New York Post. I have no idea what you're talking about. Did you see them? Ooh, creepy. You know what just happened after I did that little not quite impression of my mom? I got a notification. Audio device has been disconnected from your computer. My mic crapped out right then. Weird. Hi, Mom. Kyle said, what's really important to me is a work-life balance. The whole hustle culture, like you have to sacrifice your entire existence for success. I don't subscribe to that idea of success. Your life is yours. It doesn't belong to an industry. He said the first peak of his career was around 2010. Maybe there's another one coming. I don't know. That was when Comedy Central asked him to come in and record a few promos. He became the voice of Comedy Central. That was around the time we created Comedy Central Radio, and Kyle did the liners for that radio station, which I created. Kyle said the network never gave him a contract, but just kept bringing him back week after week and year after year. Kyle said, right away, my expectations were set. You have it, but you're not going to have it forever, but you have it for now, so be grateful. Before Kyle, the job belonged to Penn Jillette, and he said, I don't want to be stealing anybody's job, but I think he's probably doing all right. I think he's got a mansion in Vegas or something. Kyle was the voice for about a decade, and then he started hearing from comedian friends that Comedy Central was booking auditions to replace him. He jokes, I lost it how I got it. Good thing I wasn't spending the money, because I knew it wasn't going to be forever. They also asked him about why Comedy Central has fallen by the wayside, is the phrasing, and he said, if I had answers like that, I wouldn't be talking to you from a basement in Portland. Again, hopefully you can hear in my voice today, and even in my jokes about the microphone, that I am feeling okay. Thank you so much. I got so many notes from listeners. Again, thank you. Becky went to buymeacoffee.com. Now, I'm not here to shill for coffee. I just want to thank Becky. She did go there and bought me 5 coffees. I won't do the full URL today because it's not about trying to get a coffee out of you. I just want to thank Becky for doing that. And she also sent me a note. Thank you very much, Becky. Speaking of the National Donuts chain, when I was there this morning, I was walking out, and you know who held the door for me? Evil Bill Engvall. Now, if you're a relatively new listener, Evil Bill Engvall is a guy that kind of looks like Bill Engvall, except he has a goatee, you know, like the Mr. Spock or Evil Abed thing. If you have a goatee, you're the evil version of the real version. Now, I know this joke makes no sense because actual Bill Engvall often has a goatee, but this character is Evil Bill Engvall, and he held the door for me, and dude, he's super nice. He was like super friendly. He's like, hey, man, have a great day. So not so evil Bill Engvall, but his character is Evil Bill Engvall. That's who he is. Attell is on Marc Maron's podcast this week. I did not get to listen to it yet for reasons well discussed. John OIliver on Smartless. Also haven't gotten to it yet. At some point, I'll listen to those and I'll pull some clips. Apparently, OIliver told the Smartless guys he's not interested in acting again, saying, I haven't done a lot of acting, and I think when I have done it, I'm not sure I would call it acting. And I remember Jonathan Banks, legitimate actor, came up to me before a scene and said, I just wanted to talk about what our characters are doing before this. And I had to tell him, oh, Jonathan, I'm just going to say these words in the funniest possible way. Banks said, you know when actors act opposite a tennis ball? I'll be that ball for you. John Cleese is on Bill Maher's podcast. Haven't listened to it yet for reasons well discussed. He said he has used a medium to communicate with the late Graham Chapman. Apparently, Cleese hired a psychic to, quote, explore his consciousness, but found himself communicating with Chapman. Cleese claims the medium referred to facts that she couldn't possibly have known. She said, who's Graham? And I said, he's probably Graham Chapman. She says, he's going on about a pipe. I said, yes, he always smoked a pipe. Then she said, he's rolling up his trouser leg. And I said, oh, that's a sketch we did about the Freemasons. Bill Maher was like, maybe she saw the sketch? And Cleese said, no, it's only been aired once or twice. The sketch first aired in 1970, and it's been viewed 2 million times on YouTube. On Cleese's next visit, the psychic said Graham was waving a monkey with a stripy tail. Now, you may not know, there is a lemur named Cleese's woolly lemur named after him. I've told that story in the past, but Cleese said there's no way she would have known that. John, maybe she listens to Daily Comedy News. She said, why is he showing this to me? He says it's named after you. And I said, no, it means that species of lemur is named after me. There's no way she would have known that, except for the 2 million views and even me mentioning it. Bill Maher said, are you sure it wasn't in the 25 things you don't know about me in Us magazine? Because that's the kind of thing you might get there. That sounds fun. I will have to listen to that. A DC Sketchfest starts tonight. Executive producer Isaiah Heaton told WTOP when they first started this thing, we'd been traveling around the country going to Sketchfests all over, and we wanted to bring one here to Washington. We've been growing a lot the last couple of years. There's so many new teams, so it felt like the right time to bring the community together to showcase the talent and invite our friends from all over the country to come participate. 100 performers from 22 comedy troupes from all over the U.S. and Canada. Apparently, there's some regionality. Heaton says the Seattle teams tend to be very silly and wacky, whereas the New York teams are very sharp. So you're getting a mixed flavor palette of styles of comedy. That kicks off tonight. Boy, I've got 10 more stories to get to. That's what happens when you pre-tape 4 episodes in a row. Don't worry, the weekend's coming. I'll get to them all. Let's see. Let's do Gossip Corner, and then we'll get out of here. On Gossip Corner, Kevin Hart was spotted at Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse. No word on what he ate or not. I thought he was like Mr. Vegan now. Trevor Noah looking for a new place in New York City, apparently. He was spotted checking out a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath unit, asking $7.4 million in a building on 10th Street. Design details include oversized arch windows, barrel-vaulted ceilings, custom millwork, and views of the Hudson River, Statue of Liberty, and Hudson Yards. Bill Maher has broken up with talent agency CAA after not being invited to the co-chairman's Oscars party. And as if the recent week wasn't terrible enough, Adam Sandler movies are going to be released in IMAX. Oh my goodness, what are you people doing to me? Luckily, it's not a terrible Adam Sandler movie. It's the good one. Uncut Gems in IMAX, May 22nd. If for some reason you want to do that, that's a thing that exists. And that's your comedy news for today. I'm glad to be back. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.